Welcome back. Today we're playing on the hillside map. I bought a new log truck. Like the last video I made, I showed how I got a new truck here that'll pull FDR trailers. This will pull the equipment too. I haven't shown that in a video, but it is possible to pull the FDR equipment with this truck on a lowboy. So that's a plus. I just figured I'd, whoops, got my speed on, or flight mode, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I meant to take care of these logs before I started recording, get them out of the way. Let's get those up, pick those up real quick. I don't know that we're going to be hauling any wood today, but I figured I'd get a truck over here in case we wanted to. Not sure. I forgot what I had for piles here. I believe I had 7 meters in one of these piles and 6s in another. Looks like this is a 6 pile here, though. But I think this log here is a 6. Go. But last time we played here, we had loaded a truck up and hauled it out. So now I'm gonna keep bunching, I guess. I'm gonna get up there with a fellow buncher and keep getting my piles. I got some new controls for the harvester that I wanted to test out. I had commented on one of on somebody else's video. They where they were feeding the logs. I'll have to show it when I actually get down there to process. I'll get back to that, but looks like we got a pile there. Our skidder's up here from the last time I was taking a thumbnail. And we got a little pile there. So I think I'm just going to keep working my way up here. I was making this a little wider coming up, because before I think I got up to this area here somewhere. I'm going to come up the side with the fellow buncher here, wind this out, and keep making our way up to the top. We'll get up to the top there and get it all flattened out, and that'll probably be the end of this I don't know if you'd call it this piece of land that we're working on. We'll find a new place on the map to go after this. I think this is my favorite map, the Pine Ridge logging map, the first one that came out. The Pelican Lake map is pretty good, but as far as just good terrain, good variation of trees, this is my favorite so far. Let's drive over here and make this pile a little bit bigger. Now, one thing I've been doing recently when I've been playing, when I'm not recording, is I'll just use a cable on the skidder. I'll run the skidder like a cable skidder. There are some skidders, grapple skidders, that have winches built onto them, but generally in real life I don't think they use them all that much. I think it's more of a recovery winch. I don't know that it's meant for trees. I mean, I'm sure people do use it for trees, but you're supposed to use a grapple. That's the point of it. You're not supposed to have to get out of the skidder. Dang it. But where I'm playing here, and I don't physically have to get up and out, I just press a button and I'm out of the skidder, I actually think it's easier to use the winch on the skidder, because then you don't have to worry about the trees falling out. And you don't have to fight the pile, like getting lined up to the pile and stuff. It's very difficult when you're playing like this. So I think that in this game specifically, it makes more sense to use a cable skidder. So we'll give that a try. There are cable skidder mods coming out, so we might switch to that. And I don't plan on completely exiling the grapple skidder, but for now I think we'll just use a cable skidder just in the interest of making things easier for us. Game is hard enough without doing things like that. So some little twigs here. Oops, made that tree disappear. That's what happens. Sometimes you get the saw a little too far into the dirt, and it just deletes the tree entirely. Just part of the game. Probably good right there. There's probably way, probably a lot bigger of a bunch than you would generally haul with a cable skidder anyway. We'll just stick this back here. Whoops. Get out of the way. Gotta get some more trees down here so it kind of stops the rotating there. If I can do it without bashing them into other trees. Something like that. I wasn't planning on making a video today, but it's the same reason I say I make all these videos. I'm gonna play the game, so I might as well. If I'm playing by myself, I might as well just make a video and just talk to myself. So I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna be talking in my head anyway, so why not record it? Plus, it's always good practice to just be entertaining. I actually, I never made video game let's play videos or anything like this before because I never had any like microphones or anything to make the audio good. And I actually started a podcast with my brothers. We do a podcast. We try to do it 3 nights a week. It doesn't always work out that way. We just talk about whatever the hell we want, and so I have all the microphones now, so I figured I might as well record myself playing the game. I'm curious. I don't know what other people's search is like. If you search for Kinville logging, people probably don't search for my name that often. It's probably more of a it just pops up type of video. But if you search Kinville show, the podcast will come up. Be like a face reveal. Except for you won't know which one I am. Except for I'm the one that put all the equipment together, so I'm definitely not the main character of the podcast, so one of my brothers is a lot better at talking. You'll figure that out pretty quickly if you go to watch it. If you do go to watch it, though, leave a comment. Tell them that you came from my my farming simulator videos. It'd be kind of funny to see how many people make their way over. We try to live stream it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday is what we try to do. It doesn't always work out, but we've done 50-something episodes now. So it's been fun. Something different. That up close there so we can get our cables onto it. Now we kind of blocked our path going forwards, unfortunately. That's one thing I've done a few times. Block myself in. Whoops, deleted that tree. Deleted that one too. That was unintentional. Get rid of these bushes though. Starting to flatten out up here. We'll get through this drop that. that over there somewhere. We're right on the edge here. I'd be pretty nervous if this was real life about falling off this edge here. There's not really... I'm not really on any slippery ground here, but I bet you in real life you'd think twice about being this close to the edge. We'll just pull up into the trees here. Get out of the way so we can pull those trees down with our skidder. I'll show the cabling method. See how big of a pile we can pull. I think I should probably go down there and get that one that I'm looking at here. Get it out of the way. When I used the base game John Deere skidder, I haven't used it in a video, but I was just messing around with it the other day. And that skidder there has same thing, it's got a winch like this. But the seat also spins, which is nice when you're driving it. So I don't have to turn my head and look at every time I change the driving direction. It automatically spins the seat, so I don't have to turn the character's head. Kind of nice. So I'm just tying all the trees up with the chokers here. They kind of jump around a little bit. It's a little bit annoying, but at the same time, it also helps you see the trees underneath. I just want to make sure I grabbed them all here. Like that. I think that's no, I did get that one. Yeah, so that looks like all of them. So then we can just drive away. We can also, whoops. That's the only problem is the winch is kind of like a bungee cord here. We can reel it in, so it's not quite so bad. I'm curious to see how when the cable skidder comes in, if it's a little bit better. But they're locked onto the back of the skidder here now, so I don't have to worry about them sliding off. I can just hammer down to the bottom of the hill here, and I didn't have to fight getting them on the into the grapple. Now I mentioned in the comments, I guess, I told somebody that if you're playing on console, this is the best way to play. If you want to log, you get the base game fella buncher and the base game skidder. Don't bother using the grapple, just go straight for the winch. It's got the same thing, a winch right on the back, just like this one. And you can't tow quite as much. There's a big capacity on it, or a little capacity, I should say. You can only pull so much weight, but it's much faster than trying to mess with running a grapple with a controller, with a single controller. And the base game fella buncher is actually fairly easy to use with a controller. This is all I'm doing is clicking left thumbstick to grab the winch, and then holding RB and A to lock a tree on. That's it. My tree's locked on there. Like I said, once the actual cable skidder comes out, we might switch to that. I actually wanted to do a couple videos where I just had a chainsaw and a skidder, and I could cut some trees down and pull them out with a skidder, because that's generally where people use cable skidders, when they're cutting stuff up with a chainsaw. Mainly because you don't have a a fella bunch are coming out and making these nice piles for you to grab with a grapple. Otherwise, you got to monkey around combining piles as you're driving out in order to, let's see. I know I had blade controls mapped to some buttons here. Oh. I'm playing with a Xbox controller right now. Not bad. Get that tree out of the way. That must have been locked in with the other trees. I don't think I had that on the grapple, otherwise it wouldn't be there. I should go into the settings, see if I can make my own mod for the base game skidder and try to up the power and increase the amount of weight capacity you could carry. Just for fun, that way I had a different skidder to use. The John Deere green. Oh. It still helps, I think, if you have the trees kind of lined up. I haven't noticed if these chokers shorten up after you reel the winch in, like if they all kind of even out. You get some of them, like this one here is far away. I haven't noticed if they kind of pull together or not. Let's see if we can see here. It looks like they shorten up some. Some, not all the way. Okay, so they're kind of like bungee cords flapping around behind you. But this is much quicker than using the grapple. I'm not gonna do this all the time, every video. I just figured I'd give it a try for one of them. Just because I wanted to. Ooh. There's something hung up there. See if we can get it out of there. Oh, there we go. Whatever it was was just hung up on a stump. Whoops. Not paying attention to where I'm going. I've really caused myself a problem. Yeah, see, generally in real life, the trees all kind of funnel together when you winch them in. They all tighten up tight, and you can also lift them up into the air because the cable comes off the top. I'm sure a lot of people know what a cable skidder is. I don't have to explain it, but this winch doesn't lift the trees up in the air as you're going, so let's see if I can get one more pull down here. I didn't really get into any of the new bunches that I did, but I'm gonna get one more pull down here, and then I'm gonna even the butts up, and I'll process a few. That way I can get to what I was talking about with the processor head, the things that I changed. Quite the road coming up here, though. Cleared a lot of land here. Once you get up in here ways, it seems like it takes forever to forever to get here to pull some trees back. I don't know why the trees move when I'm going to attach the winch. Oh, that's why, because I have super strength on, I think. Is that why? No? I didn't have it on. Is that all of them? Looks like it. Another bunch down the hill we go. Now, I was thinking I should come up in here with the mulcher and knock down some of these stumps, but they're really not causing me a problem here. So I'm fine with it for the moment. Ooh, look at that. We're down to 95% fuel. I've never in this game run on equipment low on fuel. I've never played it long enough to actually get it down that low. I bet you it would be a lot lower if I had the time scale set for a lower amount. Let's see. Like I said, I'll have to even up those butts of these trees here. Makes it a little bit easier to line up with the processor if they're kind of all even. I try to stack them up a little more too. If I was playing with a couple of people, I'd probably try to process while I was... have somebody process while I was skidding. And kind of keep up with the pile here, because it is kind of a long distance here. I think you could kind of keep up. So, okay. Quite a few trees there. We got one of them there that's not quite where I'd like it to be, but it's not terrible. That'd be the first time in a little while here that I've used the dangle head option for processing. So it might be a little bit slow going here, but I'll see if I can show. There's two things that I wanted to show that I started doing. Well, one thing that this is actually my first time trying it. And one thing I started doing here. I was hoping that I could get up a little closer to the pile here. While I was grabbing that tree that was sticking out. So what I wanted to show earlier was, I need to make sure I got set for, go down to 6 meters. We'll put them 6 meters. So what I wanted to show, what I changed up here, if I run the tree through, right? Let's run it out to 6 meters here. Now the tree is locked in the head. If I ran the processors, the roller wheels, it's locked in because it's on its function. But now when I hit the roller wheel, it drops it out. So like I can drop the tree there. So let me show it again here. I run it out to 6 meters there. Now it's locked in there. You can see that it's locked in because it's it's functioning like the base game. But now if I roll the wheels, it'll drop. And before I had it set up where I could drop the tree, but I had to in order to do it, I had to hit drop tree, and then I could use my rollers. So now I can go like this and put my pile of tops over there. Now the other thing that I've learned is finally, after playing the game for a few months, is where to sit when I'm processing wood. If I'm sitting here, I have a clear place to process trees. Before, I would like I would leave the I would be set up with a pile like right where my tops are, so I would be just sliding back and forth with my harvester head here. So I'll move around here so I can kind of show what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna back into that pile, am I? Kind of. We'll back up here. So what I would do is I would just grab the trees right here, drag them out in front of me, and then the problem was I would end up with a top, and I'd have nowhere to put it. Now if I set up just a little bit farther ahead right here, and I grab from the side of the pile and just drag it out a little bit, it leaves all that room right out here where I can throw all my scrap. So we'll get a pile set up here, and you'll kind of see as I go how the pile of scrap builds there and it stays out of my way. That's what I was having trouble with before, was I would end up with a pile of scrap. Oops. And let the head tip back up, but we'll get better at that. That function of having the rollers disengage it is new to me. It's my first day using it. These are literally my first trees cutting using that function. I tested it out, make sure that it was going to work, and I wasn't going to be talking about it and have it not work. Wow, I can't even tell you how much of a world of difference that is to be able to do that. That's kind of why I was using the fixed head for a while, because it made it easier to get rid of the scraps. But now it should be a pretty easy task no matter what. Oh. I let off the rollers there. I didn't let it push it all the way through. Maybe I should... maybe I should loosen my grapple too when I go to do that. I'm going to try that on this one here. Not bad. I didn't have it lined up where I should have, but grab this tree here. It's kind of getting mixed in with our scraps. I'm not quite smooth enough to not have the head flopping all over the place, but... Oops. Wrong functions. It's definitely something that you can get better with over time, though. But I'm having, not difficulty, but I'm definitely not good at keeping the head here from flopping all over the place. It's not a super smooth operation. Using the fixed head's a little bit of a cheat code. You don't have to worry about it flipping around like this. little tricks that you figure out along the way. I was mentioning that in my last video that I'm always trying to think when I'm doing things of ways to make it easier for myself, or what would be more efficient. What would somebody in real life do? I wish FDR programmed in the size function in that told you how big the log was in the processor head. Then it'd be easier to tell which ones you should spit out, which ones you should keep going with. Oh. Probably should have kicked that one back. Not bad to have a couple little ones mixed in, but that's what I've been noticing too, is when I'm loading log trucks, it seems like the little twigs cause me the most issues. This is a pile of small logs here. Small in diameter. I know there's some big ones, but I saw this in a video too. Bump your logs with the roller heads. See, I'll probably make this my last tree. Right around 30 minutes here. I'm gonna keep playing this map now until I get to my stopping point, whatever I decide that is, rather than switching it up all the time. So, said that was my last tree. I can't help myself. One more. But I'm gonna keep playing until I decide where I've reached my stopping point on this cut here, and then we'll find a new place to go, start off new, and I'll probably show right from the beginning, like I can pull my trailer in. I'll show how I determine where I start cutting, because this looks completely different from when I started. Like, you can say, oh, this is a good place. You get your lot all set up, and I didn't grab that on purpose. I don't know how I did that. But I got a call coming in on Steam, so I'll call it here. Thanks for watching.